Hello and welcome to Video Game Hangover. I'm Randy Dickinson and I'm in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Hello, I'm DJ Ross. I am in Mountain View, California.
On every episode of Video Game Hangover, we talk about the games that have been keeping us up at night. This week we are talking about Mario Kart World on the Nintendo Switch 2.
It's real.
It's a whole new world. It's a whole new Mario Kart World.
So, sounds like you managed to procure a Switch 2 then.
When it rains it pours, I got two of them.
You got two? Okay. How's that working out for you?
I'm trying to cover all my bases. One of them's got to go back.
Okay. It's not, one's for the bathroom or whatever. I don't know where people put their Switches.
The bathroom Switch.
I always thought oh man, I'm going to get this was before the Switch 1 came out, but I was like, I'm going to get a second dock and put it in all the rooms in my apartment. Didn't really think that through because, first, one thing, it's not really a huge apartment. And also, I don't have a TV in more than one room, so that's kind of pointless. But, it just seemed like a cool thing you could potentially do. I'm sure there are some people who actually do have that kind of setup.
Yeah. Yeah, the Switch is its own TV, so...
True, yeah, so kind of defeats the purpose anyway.
Yeah.
But then with the Switch 2, I'm like, oh, finally, I'll have a second dock. I could just put that in another room, but then it's not compatible, right? So that doesn't help me anymore.
Right, yeah, that is a problem I've noticed, because I have two Switch 1s. I have a dock in my office and a dock on the TV downstairs, and I have gone back and forth with the same device and just dropped it into each dock and played on different TVs. Mm-hmm. And I can't do that anymore with the Switch 2 because it's a different dock. I have not tried putting the Switch 2 in the Switch 1 dock to see what portal to the Netherrealm is opened. But
I mean, I feel like that definitely wouldn't work, right? But does the Switch 1 work in the Switch 2 dock?
Haven't tried that either. Maybe I'm ill prepared for this week's show. Give me a minute.
Okay, just combine all the different Switch and dock combinations and then report back?
Yes, yeah. I had to wipe my OLED to be able to port everything over to the Switch 2, and that was like a horrifying, emotional break. I'm like, I don't know if I'm quite ready to give up this. I guess I didn't have to. I could have chosen not to.
Yeah, I don't think you have to, right? I thought you meant you had to wipe it down for some reason.
Oh,
because it was I don't know, oily, or I was like, wait a minute, is this so you could dock it? Like, oh, that doesn't make sense though. What are you doing?
No, keep up, DJ.
But I don't think you have to erase it or anything. That's what you meant, right?
It was it's the setting now in the Switch 1 menu that's upload everything on the Switch 1 to the cloud, and then when you get your Switch 2, it'll download it to the new device.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And I knew that FedEx was a day away, so I did that. And that what it did at the end was wipe everything off of my Switch OLED and put it back to factory settings. And I'm like, wow, am I really never going to use the OLED again? That was a tough emotional moment. I logged a lot of hours on that device.
Well,
it has traveled literally around the world with me. So
that's for if you're trading in your Switch to get the new one, right?
Yeah, but if the Switch 2 plays everything that the Switch 1 played, why do I also need to keep the Switch 1?
That's true.
Yeah.
I thought about that as well, but I feel like maybe there's some game I can start up on the Switch 1 that I wouldn't play on the Switch 2 for some reason. I don't know. I haven't thought it through in depth.
Yeah.
But the thing I did is I started up the Switch 2 and did the transfer from there. It's put your Switch 1 next to the new one and it'll transfer it. But at no point did it say it was going to wipe everything on my Switch 1. I don't think it did anyway.
No. And you've not gone back to your Switch 1 to check?
No, I just immediately threw it in the garbage.
Right in the trash, into the ocean.
No, I haven't started it up, but I should check to see what it's like. Maybe it'll just be going into an empty house or something. What happened to all the furniture and games that used to be in here?
Yep. This is the house I grew up in.
Yeah.
Yeah. No. So yeah, I am gonna have to sell the OLED at some point, but I want to make sure it goes to a good home. I'll set up some interviews.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you vet whoever's buying it.
To screen all my candidates, who promise to take good care of it.
What happens if there's like, I mean, what happens if you want to play something outside? Or there are still a few, it's like a single digit list of games that don't work on the Switch too. Like, what about those things?
Ring Fit Adventure is the one that I do occasionally still play.
Yeah.
But I still have my Animal Crossing Switch, so there is still a Switch 1 in the house. So
right.
if I wanted to,
you're just drowning in Switch ones.
Yeah. And so I'm not going to sell the Animal Crossing one because it's the Animal Crossing one.
Right.
So I could play Ring Fit on that if I so desired.
Yeah. Okay. And you don't need to play Ring Fit outside, or you especially don't need the OLED screen to play Ring Fit.
Yeah, the Switch 2 screen is not OLED. It is LCD, LED, LCD.
Yeah, one of those things.
One of those, something with an L. So yeah, it is a bit of a downgrade.
LCD is like one of those old. It's like one of the digital watch or something, right?
Liquid crystal display. Yes, I think you're right.
Yeah. No, I always get those.
So LED is the right word. Light emitting diode.
There you go. I think I've used the Switch 2 screen during setup and to get everything migrated. And I remember thinking like, oh, this feels nicer than the Switch 1 screen, which, at this point is quite old, so it better look nicer. But since then, it's just been straight into the dock, and I haven't given it a second glance.
Oh.
Maybe I should pull it out again and play Mario Kart on it just to compare. But yeah, it's been like just back on my old monitor that I used with the Switch 1.
Yeah. What are you using for a controller? Do you have the Pro Controller from the first one?
No, well, so right now I'm just using the new Joy-Cons, which are like, whatever. I was not a huge fan of the Joy-Cons. I don't think this is going to convert me.
Yeah.
I've got one of those 8-bit game pads, which is basically a standard video game controller. And they've released a firmware thing, so it works with the Switch 2. I haven't gone through like all the hoops to actually do that yet. But I would like to at some point because I like that controller more than the Joy-Cons.
Yeah.
The only thing that's missing is it doesn't have the what is it, game chat button.
Oh yeah, the C button.
Yeah, and I'm like, I don't know if I'm going to use this, but I figure like for the first few weeks anyway, I'll tough it out with the Joy-Cons just to see if game chat is a factor whatsoever.
Yeah.
I haven't even set it up yet. I started to.
Same.
And it started asking me so many questions. It was just like, you know what? I don't want this. I'll do this later.
The onboarding interview was far too in-depth. Yeah. Yes, I've hit it a couple of times when I've on the Switch 2 when I've accidentally tried to hit the home button because it's right below.
I've done that a bunch of times.
And I was always like, "Welcome to game chat." I'm like, "Nope, I'm not interested. Thank you." So no, I've not set that up either. But yeah, the new Pro controller, it looks really nice. It has like mappable buttons on the back of the handles.
It does look really nice. Yeah.
I was like, "Oh, that's cool." It also has the C button. But I realized that the Steam Deck has mappable buttons on the back that you can kind of hit with your, pinky and ring finger, I guess. Mm-hmm. And I've never used them. So I will not be roped in by the appeal of more buttons because that's never going to get used.
I rarely use them, but in the few situations where I do, they're pretty nice. I think the last time I used one was like, I think with Dragon Quest III, the remake, you can map it to, I think I mapped it to be one of the confirm buttons, because then you can just play it one-handed, essentially. So you steer around with the control stick and confirm with the back paddle or whatever. But yeah, like 99% of games, I don't even remember the back paddles exist.
Yeah, I have not set up the dock for the Switch 2 yet. I've not even. I've played entirely handheld. The situations where I plug it into a TV are super rare, so there's no rush.
I always forget we live in such like opposing Switch 2 or just Switch worlds where it's like, it's never true. Handheld, never docked. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
I can tell you something about the Switch 2 dock. It is not easy to thread the cords out of the dock correctly. So
Oh,
I was like, you plug it in and it's got that weird flap that you like remove so you can place the cables.
yeah.
And I'm just like, there's a little gap for the cables to snake out. And I'm just like, was this like, am I doing this correctly? Because the way you really have to like twist it around to get it to come out of the gap and for you to be able to put the panel back on. It just felt questionable.
No.
And also the other thing, and I don't, maybe I just like didn't seat my Switch correctly in the dock, but it like doesn't sit very snugly in there. So like whenever I go to turn it on or off, like and push the power button on the top, it just like wobbles a little bit.
Oh.
Which, you know, is ultimately not really a big deal at all, but it feels like maybe it shouldn't wobble. Maybe they should have put a little extra plastic like nub somewhere so it doesn't do that.
Little guide. Yeah.
Yeah.
Huh. The new one also has a fan. Is it noisy?
I haven't noticed anything.
Oh, cool.
But I've only been playing Mario Kart, really.
Yeah.
And I haven't done like a marathon session or anything, so I don't know what it takes to set the fan off. Or maybe it's just a very quiet fan. Maybe it's been on the whole time. I don't know.
Yeah.
This is I did not do an especially scientific analysis of the Switch 2 at this point. This is not like Digital Foundry or whatever.
Yeah, you did you weren't counting frames or anything like that. You
And
know?
I was like, it plays Mario Kart. Well, it works.
It comes in stylish black. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. So we'll get to Mario Kart, I presume. But thoughts on the device in your first couple of days with it? How was your sort of initial experience with getting the thing in your hands, and then immediately putting in its dock and playing it on your television?
Yes. Yeah. Man, I mean, if we like going back to before I even got the thing, I got my pre-order in, as we discussed several weeks ago. And it turned out that they were doing a midnight launch where I pre-ordered it, and it's right down the street from me. Like I think we talked about this as well. There's a Best Buy like a 5-minute walk from my apartment, which is stupid for like 99% of the time. But in this case, I was like, oh, I could just walk down the street and get my Switch 2 at midnight and come back. And actually, even better, they were doing it midnight Eastern time, so it would only be 9 p.m. When I could pick it up. So
Even better.
Okay, well, I'll just head over there at 9. It'll be sort of just an in and out situation. And no, that was not the case. I got there, and the line just to pick up pre-orders was down the block. And I was like, well, I don't know about this. Maybe it'll be fun.
Sorry to cut you off, but I was surprised myself at how committed people were to showing up very early to wait in line for this thing. Mm-hmm. I mean, of course, I had in my head all of the online discourse about how expensive it was and how expensive the games were, and et cetera, et cetera. Mm-hmm. So I kind of figured it would be a slow or a quiet release.
I was wondering the same thing because, I mean, like, initially, I would have thought, like, this is going to be a nightmare because everybody wants one of these things. But then there are all these other weird factors, like, okay, so it's like it doesn't feel super exciting. Like, it's not like the Switch 1 for sure. It's not like this brand new concept or like the Wii, which is just this crazy thing. It's just like for lack of a better word, it's a very boring console. It's just like the Switch, but more. And then I felt like they lost so much enthusiasm because of the pricing. So after that, I was like, well, so now I don't know if anybody wants it. But like everybody was so excited before, it couldn't have possibly eliminated all of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't know what to expect.
Yeah, I don't know that I necessarily had a sense of that. I mean, I knew I was looking forward to it, but I like new toys anyways. So like there's like a 0% chance that I was not going to be marginally excited about this. Mm-hmm. And I know myself well enough to know that I shouldn't use sort of my enthusiasm to gauge like the public reception of things. Yeah. So in Harrisburg, the GameStop and Panera share a little plaza, and I went to Panera to grab lunch, and like it was 12:30, and there were already people queued up for the midnight launch. And we weren't doing 9 p.m. here; we were doing midnight.
Actual midnight.
So these people were 12 hours early, and it wasn't like 1 or 2 people; it was like 40 people. It was a lot with 12 hours left to go on the clock, and I was like, "Oh, this is a thing."
Yeah. So at my store, there was like the pre-order line, which was very long. And then there was a separate line for like walk-ins, essentially, because there was going to be just some extra inventory. Like they're just going to try and show up and get one. And I had gone out to get like groceries earlier in the day, so like 5 or 6 o'clock. And that line was already like just as long as the pre-order line when I got there later. So I don't even know how long those people have been waiting there. But that just seemed like, that's pretty typical for a console launch, I suppose.
I didn't ask. There was only one line that was visible to me anyways, and I wasn't sure if it was people who had orders and were just excited to pick it up. It seems silly to arrive 12 hours early if you're guaranteed to have a console.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've got to wonder if maybe these people who were queuing up for 12 hours were people who were just hoping to get one that couldn't get a pre-order before.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, the whole time I was thinking, I mean, I ended up waiting in the stupid pickup line for like an hour and a half. And I was like, this is stupid. Like, I could just go home, which, as we established, is very close to here, and just come back in the morning and get it immediately.
Or just walk back at 8:58. You don't have to be there for an hour and a half.
Yeah. Well, no, I showed up at 9. And
okay.
So
it still took an hour and a half to cash everybody out.
Yeah, because there was a lot of people online, and they had to do the transactions and everything.
Gotcha.
But I was just like, there was a point I probably should have left after like half an hour, but like 45 minutes in, I was thinking like, okay, so I've already just committed to this, so this is like sunk cost fallacy or whatever. Now it's just like a point of pride. I have to stick it out till I actually get through the door. But no, it like this. The smart thing to do would have been to just go home and come back in the morning. I absolutely no. I'm so relieved that it wasn't an actual midnight launch, because that would have just been dumb. Would have been there until like 2 a.m.
Yeah. Yes, that's true. Yeah. And there's no way I was going to do midnight. There's just, and it wasn't even an option anyways. Both of the pre-orders that I did get were shipping only. Mm-hmm. So it was Target. It was the Nintendo store, and neither of them had the option to queue up anywhere. So it just, unless I wanted to be part of the fun and possibly secure a third device, I didn't have to, set an alarm or anything like that.
Yeah. It was kind of fun on some level, because I got to chat with other Switch fans online.
Yeah.
So the stuff they're looking forward to. It's been a while since I did one of these midnight things, so yeah, it was still a bit of a novelty. But
cool.
Yeah, next time.
Any giveaways or goodies or special guests or anything like that?
No, not at all.
No.
That would have been nice, but also, I just didn't. Not why I was showing up.
Yeah. I had read, and I thought this was kind of fun, is that there was a drama with Walmart at the finish line, and apparently the weekend before they had accidentally canceled some pre-orders.
Oh yeah.
And they had to restore them. But obviously people lost their minds because they thought they had lost their pre-order briefly. Mm-hmm. And they were delivering from a local store to folks, which I think Walmart does. I don't shop at Walmart very often, so I'm not sure what their routine is. But as a way of sort of like saying, I'm sorry, they were delivering a can of Pringles and a bottle of Mountain Dew.
Oh, I saw that too,
with people's Switch 2s. And I was like, oh, well, good guy Walmart, make it up. They got the gamer diet right, at least.
I don't know if that was just for canceled orders. I think a lot of people got those.
Oh, really? I thought that was their like
standard thing,
appeasement for messing with people's emotions.
Yeah, no, I think they might have just done that, which is like, oh, that's cool. Like
even
I normally
cooler,
don't really think of Walmart as somewhere to go for like video game stuff, but that's nice, and they might as well.
I don't normally think of Walmart as being cool.
Well, it was even better, because if you heard about what GameStop was doing at their midnight launch, they were like, yeah, come to the midnight launch and you can get free can of Red Bull, like while supplies last or whatever. And then it turned out that you needed to be a member of whatever like their premier
Ugh.
GameStop membership is.
Ugh.
It's like really for a $2 can of Red Bull. Okay, thanks guys.
Good grief.
Anyway, I mean the typical GameStop for you.
Yeah, I mean, that was the other thing that was surprising to me is I haven't shopped at a GameStop in a very long time, probably as long as I haven't shopped at Walmart. And I was still surprised that, like, really, this is the only option we have for video games, right? If you want to do the midnight, this is the place you have to like participate with. So it's yeah, I guess it was surprising to me that people still like GameStop.
Well, it's just like that was the go-to for so long.
Yeah. Bring back Circuit City.
Yeah. Well, anyway, so I got one.
Yay.
What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. How is the Switch 2? Like,
do you like it? Yeah. Is it a cool toy?
I feel like my whole experience with the Switch 2 is just an extension of that feeling of like, yeah, it's just more Switch. It's like there's nothing especially exciting about it. And again, this is what I wanted. I was like, I don't want any weird Nintendo stuff this time. Like, don't put a touchscreen on it. Don't put weird motion controls or a tablet or like a crank or whatever they're doing. Just give me a more powerful Switch. And that's what I got. And it's very boring. But that's what I wanted, right? So it's fine.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. They have not deviated so far from the original Switch that it is no longer recognizable. So I think that's probably smart. Yeah.
It's noticeably heavier, which is like I didn't take my Switch out of the house a lot, but I know there's some people who did with some difficulty. It's just like, oh, I'm probably not going to like this. Yeah, it's also slightly
noticeably
larger.
Bigger. That was I got the case first. So I put my Switch 1 in the case for the Switch 2, and I was like, whoa, there's a lot of extra space around this. It is a much bigger device. And I had read, obviously, that the screen was bigger and the Joy-Cons were taller. But you don't know until you hold it in your hand. I certainly don't know until you hold it in your hand. And yeah, it is. It's a big kit. It's not a small boy.
Yeah. I don't know if I've actually held it handheld, because while I was doing the setup, I was doing like the most awkward combination of like grips, so I didn't get any like fingerprints on the screen or whatever.
Oh.
And I just noticed, like, even just holding the tablet piece without the Joy-Cons, I was like, oh, this feels hefty compared to the Switch 1.
Yeah.
So I don't even know. Sorry, I'm just putting it together in the background. There might be some clicking or whatever.
Yeah.
But
the magnet clickiness, that's the word, right? Is nice. Is surprisingly sturdy.
Yeah, I'm just like tired after a few seconds of holding this. It's much heavier. Just imagine, now I'm thinking about dropping this on my face in bed.
Yep.
I don't have, in the last year or so, I had that shell for the Switch 1 that I would use in handheld mode. And I'm just like, oh man, I don't have one of those anymore. I need the Switch 2 version of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I had a grip I still have a grip on the OLED that I liked, because the Joy-Con handles are hard to hold for a very long time. And like I said, the bulk of my gaming has been handheld. So I liked it. It was a Skull and Company, I think was the name of the brand. It was just like this little frame that had extra handles. You could click onto it and it slid into it and clipped into place. And it just made the handles a little more like a Steam Deck, a little beefier to kind of get your hands around. Mm-hmm. And playing the Switch 2 for the last couple of days in handheld, I've been like, oh no, I still definitely feel like the pinch point in my palms from the pointy ends of the controller. Even though the new device is much rounder, I feel like, than the old one was. Yeah. There's definitely still some pressure points that don't feel comfortable after a long period of time. So I may have to splurge for another little grip deck thing to slip onto the Switch 2.
Yeah, I'm not happy about that, but I might have to do that as well. The whole thing, like, even like once you start it up, and I don't want to sound like I'm super negative about the Switch. I'm just like very neutral about everything. I'm just like not excited nor disappointed. But you start it up, and it really is just the exact, or like mostly the same interface from the Switch One.
Yep.
It's like, I know where everything is. I know how all of this works. Nothing has changed. It just feels like, if you like upgrade your phone regularly, I probably do it every like 2 or 3 years.
Mm.
And a lot of the time I want to be like, oh man, it's the new like shiny phone. What's different? What's exciting and new? And a lot of the time it's like, oh, it's not really anything. It's just faster and a little shinier.
Yeah. Yes. Well, I mean, yeah, there does seem to be sort of a universal kind of acknowledgement of like, this is what a phone looks like now, right? They're all more or less the same. Because I do upgrade every year. I get the new Pixel every year it comes out, and it's there's always this moment, sort of like in day 2 of the new one, where I'm like, it's just like the old one.
Yes, yeah.
It's a tiny bit zippier, but yeah, there's not a whole lot here that is exclusive to this device that my old phone couldn't do. So maybe that's where we're at with handheld gaming at this point, is that we've collectively agreed that this is what a handheld game system looks like, and they're all going to look like this from now on.
Or just like game consoles in general, right? Because like, what was so special about the PlayStation 5? I mean, it had that fancy hard drive, which that's exciting, but
it had the wings.
The wings, questionable. And then there's some weird stuff with the controller, but I don't think anybody, like after however many years with the PS4, was like, okay, Sony, let's see some crazy stuff with the next one. In fact, the stuff that they did add, I'm not even sure about. Like the weird like tactile or like haptic feedback in the controller. I don't even know if I played a game that uses that.
Yeah. Yeah. Astro's Playroom is the only one. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the sort of the comedy of them sort of doing the PS5 editions of God of War or The Last of Us or Uncharted 4, as I'm like, it's just slightly shinier and loads a tiny bit faster. Yeah. Which, I mean, the weekend revelation for kind of the first full weekend of the Switch 2 has been just countless social media posts of people going, oh, Animal Crossing loads much faster now. Yes. Oh, Mario Kart Odyssey loads much faster now. I'm like, well, yeah, duh, of course it does. Are we so easily kind of appeased by that? I don't know.
There are definitely some Switch 1 games where I'd be like, this could load faster. Probably Animal Crossing.
Yeah, Animal Crossing definitely is guilty of that.
Did you try Animal Crossing on the Switch 2 yet?
I tried it only long enough just to make sure that my island ported over.
Okay.
But no, I've not spent any significant amount of time with it.
I don't know if I'm like mentally ready to load up Animal Crossing. Like I'm sure that it runs better, which I really like to see, but I'm just like, oh, if I go back to my island, I'm probably gonna spend like an hour and a half just running around and like talking to people, and maybe some people will have moved away. I don't think they actually move away anymore, right? But
no, I don't think so either.
It's like it's asking a lot more than just me loading up Zelda or something to see how it runs.
Yeah. You had mentioned that you were going to go back to Tears of the Kingdom. Does that sound right?
Oh, yeah. I started that up.
Have you? Okay, interesting.
It runs a lot better.
Yeah, it kind of would have to, right?
Yeah, I mean, it better since they're charging $10 extra for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it looks great. The frame rate is solid. It's not like playing on the Switch 1 just felt super chunky.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think if you're going to spend any significant amount of time with it on the Switch 2, then, or playing Tears of the Kingdom at this point, then yeah, you might as well play the Switch 2 version. Yeah. And I didn't finish that game. I left it like, I actually looked up my play history and I played it for 45 hours. And I was like, it's been a year and a half though since I put any serious time into it. Like, is that long enough that I should start fresh, like just start a new game? But on the other hand, I also have like just 48 hours of doing whatever, doing shrines and things, and I think I did the first 2 dungeons. And I just like, I don't know what to do anymore. I think I'm just gonna clear a weekend and really like make an effort to get back into it.
From scratch, or are you going to jump
No,
in?
I'm going to try not restarting and see how well that goes. And if it's a disaster, I'll restart. But that's it's a lot of time to wipe away. That's another thing with the whole Switch thing is just like I'm still in the middle of Expedition 33. Like crazy stuff is happening, and I want to see what's going on in that game. You can't just release a new console in the middle of that.
Yeah, clearly you should have worked more closely with Nintendo on their scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, to that end though, I'm kind of glad that there isn't like a killer launch game that I absolutely need to be playing all the time right now, because I'm just like, I played some Mario Kart, it was fine, and I can like swap between Expedition and Mario Kart when I feel like it. But it's not like Breath of the Wild, where it's just like, okay, just throw everything else I was doing in the garbage. I'm going to be playing only this from now on.
Yeah. Yes, I am actually a little bit glad that like it didn't launch with a new Zelda or a new 3D Mario or some other thing that I would feel like I must devote myself entirely to playing this game around the clock, because I too also have other games kind of on the burner right now that I'm trying to mop up. So it is easy to kind of get a couple of races in Mario Kart World and unlock a few things and then flip back over to, I've been playing Fantasy Life I and a couple of other little games. So those all ported over to the Switch too, fortunately. So it's just easy to kind of go back and forth between all of them. But yeah, yes, I'm glad it is not like a lifestyle game or a new Animal Crossing or something where I'm like, well, everything else I have going on in my life is currently on hold.
Yeah. So again, just one of the weirdest console launches of all time, because it's like it shows up, but it's just sort of there in the background while I play other games. But that's what I wanted, right? So it's fine.
Yeah.
There was just like,
cool.
So I keep thinking like console launch feels like a big deal, and I was like, there was I think Eshin in the Discord was like, oh, nobody's talking about how here it is. Nobody's talking about how glorious their Switch 2 experience is. I'm just like, well, I don't know if it's especially glorious. I don't know if that's what we were asking for.
Yeah.
Pretty much exactly what I expected.
Yeah. I mean, going from the Wii U to the Switch one felt like a miracle. Like, I remember getting the Switch in my hand and like just being completely blown away. Like the first time I saw them drop it in a video, drop it in the dock, and it went from handheld to being on the TV, I was like, what voodoo is this? Yeah, I mean, I hate to sort of feel jaded just a few short years later, but it doesn't feel like a miracle anymore. Yeah, so it is a kind of a refinement of the thing that works good already. And that's cool. Your mileage may vary on whether or not that's worth $500 to you. But and I'm not even sure it is worth that to me, but it's nice. I'm not offended by it. It works great. It looks cool.
By it.
Yeah. It is. It doesn't feel like a step down in any way, except for I have two things.
Okay.
The screen, which I mentioned, is not nearly as good as the OLED.
Okay.
But it's still pretty good, and it's
big.
Want
it to cost like $700?
Yeah, right. I'm sure an OLED is on the way too, so I can complain about that later. But man, the battery is killing me.
Oh, I heard things about this. Yeah. How's the battery?
I get maybe 2 hours of Mario Kart, and I'm dead.
Ooh. That's why they got that thing, the little port on the top now, so you can just plug it in wherever.
I'm gonna have to, because 2 hours of Mario Kart's a pretty good play session for, my age and lifestyle.
Pretty good, yeah. I don't think I've played it for more than 2 hours straight.
But that's not a flight. That's not me flying to LA for anything, or on vacation somewhere and sitting by a pool. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna either have to find a game that eats less battery, because Nintendo is saying it's like 4 to 6 hours depending on what game you're playing. 2 to 6 hours depending on what you're playing.
The next version of Picross. Man, just think how smooth that new Picross is going to be on the Switch 2. Just no longer shackled by the Switch 1 hardware.
You get 100 hours of battery life for playing Picross, and 2 hours of Mario Kart. But yeah, the battery, I don't think it's a downgrade, because I think certainly there were games on the Switch 1 that ate battery as well. But it just is a little kind of eye-opening, just how much work is going on behind the scenes to make Mario Kart happen on this thing. That battery does not last very long, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's a pretty like hefty. I mean, the screen first of all, but like it's basically a PS4 in there, right? Or
yes.
Equivalent. I don't, like, again, this is not Digital Foundry, but it's like
that's what I've heard. Yes, it's comparable to that. Yeah,
it's a significant jump over the Switch 1. So yeah, 2 hours of battery though does feel pretty short. Just imagine a few years from now, it's like, okay, the battery is worn down a bit. All the like really heavy hitter games are coming out that are just like really draining it. Gonna be bad.
Yeah, I know. I think the battery between the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 is a pretty marginal upgrade as well. I think the new, I read somewhere, who knows, all these things that go into my brain. The new Switch is like a 5,000 milliamp battery, which is not a very big battery, honestly. And the old Switch is a 4,000 milliamp battery. So even that is not a massive upgrade. So I can only imagine trying to run Mario Kart on Switch 1 had it come out for that, how brief that experience would be.
Can you put like a larger capacity battery in? Is that a thing?
I don't know. You could probably do an external battery pack, I imagine. There's got to be somebody out there who is, zip tying.
Yes. Yeah.
Battery packs. People do it with the Steam Deck, and they post pictures of it on Reddit. Like, we're all supposed to be impressed by that. But, yeah, there's got to be somebody out there who's looking for convenient ways of getting more battery and more juice to their Switch 2 so far.
Well, maybe whoever puts together that shell can manage to squeeze a battery pack in there as well. That would be cool.
Look at how big is the battery. The battery in my phone is almost 5,000 milliamp hours. So the battery in my phone is basically the battery in the Switch 2.
I wonder if that's like another cost-cutting thing. Because it's already, I mean, it was already so pricey, or more pricey than people were expecting.
And, I mean, there's only so much you can get in the real estate of that screen, right? I mean, I suspect they made the screen bigger to get whatever they had to get in there. So there's probably a cause and effect there. And at some point, every square millimeter of space is accounted for by some piece of hardware.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it could just be like a little bit thicker. It's going to be heavier as well.
Yeah.
Every time they talk about making phones thinner, it's like, it's already so thin. It doesn't need to be thinner. Just make it bigger and put more battery in there or whatever you need to do. It's fine.
I still wish they made phones with keyboards.
No, you don't want that.
No. I miss my BlackBerry.
No. Who wants to write an email?
I have to write a lot of them.
No. Well, you could get a little like USB thing that attaches to it.
Yeah, I've seen those.
Get a little USB battery pack for your Switch.
Just more things I need to charge.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's either that or you're not playing your Switch for more than 2 hours.
More things that are surprisingly dead when I want to use them. But yeah, those are my two complaints thus far about the Switch 2. I think, from a industrial design standpoint, it looks like a Switch 1. It's nice. It's big. It is a little heavy. But yeah, the screen is a little less exciting than the OLED, and the battery has been, I wouldn't say a problem, but it is surprising just how quickly it drops.
I've never seen an OLED Switch, so I'm just oblivious. I was like, oh, the screen is nice. All right, let's get it into that dock.
Yeah. Yeah, I was like not totally sold on the OLED thing when they put out the Switch OLED, and I used one at like Target or something, and I was like, oh, it's very different. And say I had the same experience with the Steam Deck, where I went from the what did we establish it was? LCD.
LED?
No, LED. Went from the LED Steam Deck to the OLED one, and I was like, oh, holy cow.
We just imagine if you get an LCD Steam Deck, the battery just lasts forever.
You put a couple of those little button cell batteries in it. Yes, yep.
Exactly. Yeah. At some point, they're just going to have like little slots in the back of the Switch 2. You can just fit in as many of those as you want. It'd be like Diablo. It's like you just extended the battery life by 30 minutes.
So yeah, I think for if you use a device in your hands all the time, if you're primarily handheld, holding out for the OLED is probably a smart way to go. Yeah. So there will, I suspect, inevitably be a Switch 2 with an OLED screen. So
yeah.
Yeah.
I just looked up. I was like, pretty sure my Odin Android handheld has an OLED because the screen on that is like way too bright, and it's not an OLED. It's just extremely bright. So I thought I was like, I was worried about getting like OLED pilled or whatever by seeing this OLED Switch, but no, it's still just LED or just regular LED all the way. Apparently, or no, it's LCD. Maybe it is LCD. I don't know what's going on. This says it's LCD.
Oh.
Somebody tell Grandpa what all the acronyms mean.
Yeah, DJ and I don't know. Please don't send us angry emails.
Anyway, I don't think I have any complaints about the Switch 2, other than it's not very exciting. But again, I asked for this specifically, so it's my fault.
What would make it exciting?
Like a big fancy new game to play on it.
Yeah.
Like they should have just held Tears of the Kingdom. No, actually, that game is older than I thought. It's like a year and a half old at this point, so that's probably too long to make people wait. But like if it had launched with Tears of the Kingdom, that would be exciting.
Yeah.
I don't know what else. Like, what's a game that I would be excited about? I don't know.
But it's not even like hardware or functionality or whatever that would make you excited. It's about what game comes with it.
Yeah, because I mean, I don't want the hardware to be crazy. I don't even know what I want in new hardware. I just want to be able to play the stuff that is still in my backlog.
Mm-hmm.
And that might just be it. Like the big thing that the PlayStation and Xbox don't have is just the fact that you can dock it or use it handheld. And, that's the Switch's whole thing. So they got that covered. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it looks like Xbox and Sony has are working on plans to fix that too. So
yeah. So I don't know. I honestly don't know. I'm just like, if you could have any improvement to your console, I guess just like a better user experience in general, because that's not a hardware thing though. The whole UI on the Switch 1 was not great. And like I said, it's largely the same interface on the Switch 2.
Mm.
So, I mean, it's not a deal breaker or anything. But I'm always just like, if the stuff you spend a lot of time interacting with in the console worked much better, that would be good. Like sharing screenshots, I like to do. It became very cumbersome in the Switch 1 after they removed Twitter support. And it's like slightly less cumbersome now because they've got the Nintendo app.
Right.
But it's not great. The eShop, it like, okay, so this is my one complaint with the Switch 2. The eShop runs better than the Switch 1, because that's a very low bar to clear.
Yeah.
It still doesn't run great, though. Like, what were they expecting this to run on?
Yeah. All of that power that's making Animal Crossing finally run good is not enough to run the eShop.
Yeah, so that's mind-boggling, actually. Like, what is it doing? It's just a website, right?
Yeah, I would assume so.
So, yeah, I don't know what the deal with that is. And, like, if the trade-off is the eShop runs slightly poorly, so, like, all the other stuff going on and the OS is running better, then, like, that's fine, because you're not in the eShop all the time. But it's still just kind of baffling. Like, the PlayStation Store works pretty well whenever I'm in there.
I can't ever find anything in the PlayStation Store. I think it's all of these eShops have cataloging issues.
Oh yeah, I mean that's a whole other thing, and that is a disaster everywhere. So they're all on even footing when it comes to just searching and actually finding stuff.
Yeah, I do find that when I want to buy a Switch game, though, I don't buy it from the eShop. I buy it from the website on my phone.
Oh yeah, me too. I like that, and the PlayStation Store. I was like, maybe Steam. Steam is actually okay.
Steam's fine. It's basically the same experience on the phone as it is on my Steam Deck. So, yeah.
But yeah, so I basically try and spend as little time in the eShop on the Switch hardware as possible.
Yeah.
So maybe that could have been better, but also it's like trivial to load it up on like either a desktop or a laptop or your phone. So
yeah,
I don't know what the answer is. Maybe
and
it's good that they didn't put that much effort into it.
Yeah, I mean, make the games run good and make good games, and that's kind of the important thing. All the other stuff is hopefully a value add for those that are excited about those things. But
yeah, I mean that's really what it's about at the end of the day. I've seen a lot of people complaining that it still doesn't have achievements or trophies or whatever, and I just like could not care less about whether they add those ever.
That's fine. Yeah. I do wish it still had like what the Switch, what the PlayStation does and what Xbox have had for generations now, where you have a button that just connects you to Twitch and you can stream right away.
That they didn't do that. That would have been nice.
And that was my sort of like my wish list or like forecast or whatever for the Switch was like, oh, it's going to have, Twitch built in. Or whatever Nintendo's version of a streaming service would be. And it does not. So I whiffed it on that one. So it still requires an extra piece of hardware to be able to stream from my Switch.
Yeah, that is a little surprising now that you mentioned that. I had kind of forgotten about it because I don't really stream that in that way anyway, but it does seem like it would just open it up to a lot more people, basically giving Nintendo free marketing for all their games.
Yeah, I mean, it's not even really a huge inconvenience for me because I don't stream very often, only when you make me, DJ. So this is a deal breaker for me, and it's a thing that I would use every day if it existed. And that's clearly not true. But
I don't know. I mean, if it was just a matter of pushing a button, who knows what would happen?
I'm going to hop online.
Huh.
Yeah. But it is surprising that it doesn't exist.
Yeah. I thought maybe since they were doing the whole game chat thing already, like, oh yeah, it's like push this for game chat and then like hold it down to pipe it to Twitch instead or something. I don't know. Or maybe it's because they're doing that. Maybe they don't want you to be able to easily just send like a bunch of strangers' video feeds onto the internet.
Yeah. Or maybe it'll come. Who knows? I mean, there's obviously still a lot of runway ahead of this thing, and features could be added later.
That would be nice. I think that's probably the big feature that is really missing. But even then, that's not like, it doesn't make a huge difference to me. I just think it would be nice as a general feature for it to have. Yeah,
I agree.
So Mario Kart.
Yeah, I would say any other thoughts on the device, or you want to talk about the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's just
we'll talk about the one game that came out. Yeah,
it's so unremarkable. I have very little to say about it.
Pleasantly unremarkable, though, right? I mean, this is not a knock.
It's exactly what I wanted. Is it? Yes. It's like pretty much what I wanted. So that's good.
Yeah. Mario Kart World.
Mario Kart, yeah. So Mario Kart's basically the same thing. It's like, I know what Mario Kart is. I don't need to talk about this. That's the whole episode.
Yep. It's fine.
That's fine, yeah.
No, it is a very good Mario Kart game.
It is really good. Yeah, it's a lot of fun.
What if you spend most of your time doing?
Like, driving a cart? I don't like. What do you expect me? What do you think the answer would be?
Are you doing the tournaments, the cups? Or are you just doing free roam?
Yeah, I'm just doing. I went through all the cups already. I did a couple of there's like sort of the elimination races where every course it like cuts out the last 4 or 5 stragglers. I don't know how many it is.
That's really fun. I think that's the secret cool thing on this game.
That's like the new thing. You're not even doing the GP anymore.
I mean, the GPs are fun, but I like that elimination race. I've played probably more of that than anything else. I think that's a lot of fun.
Interesting. I hopped in there like I think twice just to see what it was about, but I think at this point I'm still just kind of like learning the courses and everything. Yeah. Yeah,
I'm not good at the shortcuts or the wall driving or the grinding or any of that stuff. The the charge up to do the little hop that gets you up onto the rail or the little hop that gets you up onto the wall. I'm like, I think about doing it just like a hair too late.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, so it doesn't even occur to me to do the wall driving stuff, but the sort of like prelude or whatever, the prerequisite thing, the little like what do they call it? It's like not a drift. You just do it in a straightaway. It's like the same as drifting. So you do the hop and you hold it, and you
it's a straight
grind.
Drift. Yeah,
a straight drift. Okay,
and it just turns into a hop.
Yeah, so I'm just like, that's where I'm confused, because now I'm just like, is this like, should I be doing this all the time? Because you can't drift in the straightaway unless you're one of those people who are in the little tank snaking on the DS.
Yeah, you gotta snake it.
Yeah. Well, now I'm just like, okay, did they eliminate that by just letting you do the straight drift or whatever you're calling it? Is that what I should be doing? I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know. That's not what I'm doing. Yeah.
No, I'm not really like, well, it was like so first of all, I kind of forget it exists half the time, but also I don't want to be doing that. It's just like an extra exercise on top of everything.
Yeah.
I really wish there was a speedometer just in the corner. Like, has any Mario Kart ever had a speedometer?
No, I don't know.
It would be really interesting to see, like, okay, so am I getting slower when I'm doing this drift in the straightaways? Am I slower doing the rail grinds until I hop off and get a boost or whatever? It's really hard to tell in a lot of cases. But that's not in the game, so that's neither here nor there.
Yeah.
It is a lot of fun, though. I'm really enjoying just the overall experience.
The 50cc races feel very slow.
Oh, I don't even do 50cc at this
point.
Really? I went to 100 and I thought, I think the racing or like the online, what is, do you know what online has typically been? Is it 100?
Like in other versions of Mario Kart?
Yeah.
I think the settings in Mario Kart 8, you could pick between 100, 150, and 200, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, well, so I think I don't know how it differs if you just join a random game or whatever, or if they let you search between different classes. But I think in Mario Kart DS, and this is speaking of this 20-year-old game, which is probably no longer relevant, I think it was like 100 online. So I was like, I'll just try and do whatever that's going to be in case I ever end up playing it online a lot. But anyway, so no, I didn't even touch the 50cc at all. In fact, I was relieved. So I've been doing 100 until I recently switched to 150. And when you get a cup or a trophy in a higher speed class, it just gives you the trophy for all the lower classes at the same time. So I was like, oh, that's good. That's what I want.
That's good to know, because I've been trying to do them all in order. I was going to do all the 50s before I did all the 100s. I should just jump ahead to where I'm comfortable. Also, there's something to be said for like being able to kind of explore these great big tracks and look for shortcuts and stuff like that when I don't have the pressure of driving at 4,000 miles an hour.
Yeah. Okay, so you've been doing a lot of the free roam then?
Yes, I've done a good amount of that. With a bunch of different characters, and it sort of drops you into different places around the map. That is super fun, too. That is kind of aimless in a way that I got a little surprised by. Like, it's just kind of futzing around in my cart and like looking behind things and trying to knock things over, or like I'll see something in the distance and I'm like, what the hell is that? And I'll just drive over to it and drive around it. And I've been trying to do little costume upgrades, because you can go through all the little drive-thrus and get the little fast food meals that give you different versions of your characters. I got one for Wario that was super fun, that basically puts him in a Mad Max costume.
That's good for Wario.
Yeah, and he's got like a mohawk and a leather jacket, and I'm like, oh, it's like Road Warrior Wario. I found an up ramp with a water geyser that shoots you up into the clouds, and there was a secret racetrack in the clouds that I found. And you sort of like start exploring it, and you see other racers kind of zip by you, computer racers. I guess you could probably do it online too with other people. And if you want to race them, you can. If you don't, you can just kind of futz around and look for secrets and look for shortcuts and stuff. And that has been kind of fun and oddly satisfying.
Well, I've played a little of it. I almost kind of forgot it was in there. But it's nice because you just like access it very seamlessly from the title screen.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you just
Well,
drive
and it's not
anywhere.
one. Go ahead. Sorry. It's not one of the main menu options either. It's like this secret extra thing because you have like tournaments and co-op and multiplayer and elimination mode and blah, blah, blah. And then like that's the main menu. And then off to the right side of the screen at the bottom, it says push plus for free roam
Yeah.
in like teeny tiny little letters. And I was like, oh,
Yeah. Yes.
why isn't it one of the main menu things?
I feel like it's not in the main menu because I feel like it's very underwhelming as an experience. Like it's not very guided. It really is just like, okay, now you're in the map and you can drive wherever. Yeah. And there's no objective.
Oh, it is super aimless. Yes.
Yeah. And I don't know what I was expecting. Like this was the biggest question to me about this game because I just thought, it's like not something I thought I wanted out of a Mario Kart, just sort of the open world free roam experience. But then I had this inkling like, okay, well, what if it's like Forza Horizon or what's the other one? Like Test Drive or the Need for Speed that was open world. Like that could be interesting. But I don't think it's quite that. And I don't think it's what they were going for, really. Because in those games, you have all these objectives on the map and you like drive to them and it's a little race you can do or it's a little challenge. Or I don't know what else you like go places to progress the campaign modes in those games.
Yeah.
And in this, there's similar stuff. Like there are the little P switches scattered everywhere.
Yeah, I like those. I've done quite a few of those.
I don't think they're very interesting.
Oh, really?
They're just like these random challenges.
Yeah.
But the other thing is they're
not racing challenges.
They're some of them are.
Oh, okay. I've not really encountered that.
So some of them are, but since none of them are on the mini map, and they all look identical. They all just look like a P-switch. You can't tell what any of them are until you seek them out and activate them. Because I was like, the few racing challenges I found were actually like quite difficult. It was very surprising. And then there were some that were easier. Some of them were like more standard, sort of a level of difficulty that I expect from Mario Kart. But I was just like, that's what I want. I want to go around and do like little races. I don't care about collecting 8 coins in an area. That's not especially interesting.
Yeah.
Plus, there's no real rewards for doing anything. Not that I need, rewards for everything. But I think whenever you complete any of these, you just get a little sticker that you can put on your cart.
Yeah. Well, you're collecting coins, though. You can take the coins with you to unlock stuff in the...
That's true.
That's true. Race modes, yeah. So the coins carry over.
But those are... independent of the P-switch challenges, right? I don't think you get any coins for completing them.
No. There are objectives to collect blue coins, but they're like incidental to that P-switch challenge.
Yeah. So that it just feels very sort of haphazard. Like you go somewhere, there's a challenge that doesn't even necessarily feel tied to wherever in the world you find it. They're always just like, it's like more blue coins, or do a weird jump off this ramp, or like rail grind for this amount of track, or I don't know.
Yeah,
they all just felt like sort of an afterthought. Like, oh yeah, so we got this big open world. We need stuff to do as you're free roaming, but none of it is like, okay, if it wasn't this surprising thing that I discovered, is this what I would want to be doing in Mario Kart? And so far the answer has been not really, most of the time, unless it's one of those little challenge races.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of like it. I think I find it satisfying. I've had a good time with it. I've done quite a few of the P-switch challenges. Mostly they've been collect-a-thon things, or like you said, trick challenges and stuff like that. Yeah. I've not really done anything that was a ton of race. I kind of wish there was a thing that was more like Burnout Paradise, where, like, I think if I remember correctly in that game, if you pull up to like a stoplight, you could like trigger a race with other people at that point. And I feel like the free roam in Mario Kart needs something like that.
How does that, like, have you done multiplayer free roam?
I have not. So maybe that exists in that version of it. Or if you're just hanging out with your friends and you're like, race me on this. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't played multiplayer in any of the modes to this point, so I don't know how much that potentially changes the experience. But
Yeah.
I feel like there's not a lot of incentive currently for me to just drive around, other than, I feel like just chilling out and driving my car for a while.
Yeah. Yeah, I found it to be a bit of a time suck. Like I like sort of the chain together races where you do kind of all three or four
Mm-hmm.
of the big courses kind of linked together, and those are fun. And have been challenging. Some of them are not easy at the higher speeds. Um, but yeah, I kind of appreciate kind of the aimlessness, the wandering of the free roam mode. It has um, been kind of cool to explore the corners of the map. And I keep thinking like, oh, I can't go over there, or I probably shouldn't be able to go over there. But then you do, and your car transforms into a boat, and you can
Yeah.
zip out to sea. And there's a bigger boat, and you can like drive into the back of it. And now you control that boat.
Oh,
Yeah,
I didn't see that one.
Oh yeah.
Check that out.
There's been a couple. I've seen it once with a vehicle on the highway, and I've seen it once or twice on the water with other boats. Usually, like the back of the boat is a ramp, and there's like sparkly portal in the back of it. And if you drive your little race car up it, you basically take over controlling the big NPC boat.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so maybe there's some stuff I just haven't discovered yet. I'll have to spend a little more time cruising around.
Yeah. So
One thing I like, probably the most surprising thing about this to me is the roster, which is funny because a few weeks ago, or whenever this was, we were talking about, do you want Nintendo Kart instead of like a new Mario Kart? Should they have other characters in there? Because I was also mentioning like not necessarily like I don't love Mario. Like I don't need to be like Mario or Luigi in a Mario game or even Mario Kart. And I was like, well, it'd be great if they put like Goombas or something in there, because there's this whole like menagerie of weird characters that you fight or you like stomp on in all the Mario games. Put them in there. And then they basically did that. There's so many little enemy characters. There's like Goomba, and like in previous games they've had some representation. But there are some deep pulls in Mario Kart World with some of the enemies they've thrown in there. And it's very exciting. So I've been having a great time. Like for the first time that I can remember, I saw the roster screen and I was just like, my go-to is typically like Dry Bones or Boo. And usually they're like the only one in there. So it's a very easy choice. But I saw the screen. I was just like, I don't know who to pick. I don't remember having this experience before. It's like I could be Dry Bones. I could be, God, who else is in there? Various Koopa Troopas. There's like the weird bee character from Super Mario Galaxy, I think, who I probably spent the most time playing so far. He
Don't
plays
forget
the
Moo
cactus. Who?
Moo, the cow.
Oh, yes, the cow. Yeah, the cow's in there. I had to do that. But just a surprisingly expansive cast. And I feel like
Nabbit was the one I used a lot. I've been using Nabbit quite a bit.
Yeah, so like some I didn't even occur to me would be a candidate for appearing in a Mario Kart game, but suddenly they're all here, which is exciting.
Yeah, I've read on Reddit, and I don't know what the source of this is, if this was somebody's theory or if it's backed up somehow, is that all of the Nintendo World kind of like good guys have an opponent, and that when you race, like if you're Mario, Wario will race harder or more aggressively against you, or Bowser will. I think it's Bowser actually. And if you're Luigi, Waluigi, or et cetera, et cetera. So they've tried to sort of, I guess, somewhere there's a balance and a rivalry between a good guy and a bad guy, and that's why there's so many bad guys in the game. I don't know if I've necessarily experienced that in the course of me playing it. Like, who's the rival to the cow? Like, I don't think I understand.
Yes, I'm just like, is the bee just really has it out for like Waluigi or Daisy or somebody?
Yeah, so maybe they're trying to sort of manufacture some rivalries there, or this is like a whiff on somebody's theory. But there were people in the subreddit who were like, "Oh, I've noticed that when I play as this character, it always seems like this other NPC rival is playing a little more aggressively and a little harder to beat me."
Interesting.
So I thought that was kind of interesting, and it does kind of explain the weirdness of the lineup a little bit, I think.
I figured it was just because you can have so many people in a race now. They've got to throw in more characters, or you're going to get.
We need to find
duplicates.
20 more characters. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't just have baby versions of everybody. Oh man, they got rid of all the Koopa kids. What happened to them? Have you unlocked any of those yet?
Koopa kids? No, I don't think so.
Oh man, that was
Nope.
I really like that about Mario Kart 8. I think is when they added those, and now they're missing in action. So wonder what the deal
I've
is.
unlocked quite a few already. I've unlocked a bunch of new carts too. But yeah, the Dry Bones was kind of the most fun unlock. And just yesterday, like the last game I played before I went to bed, I unlocked King Boo.
Nice, yeah.
So that was fun. Yeah, those are the two I want too. So yeah. Yeah, I've been using kind of Road Warrior,
Yeah, Wario.
or Wild Luigi a lot. But yeah, I played the cow once. It was funny when I played the cow, I jumped into an online race and like there were like 14 people.
It's like all cows, yeah.
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 Yeah, it's been good. And it is just a weird random collection of things. There's the baby Wario, baby Peach and stuff, and I've not used any of those.
Yeah, no, I still don't understand who those are for.
Yeah. I did the circuit that included Luigi's Mansion, or the Spooky Mansion, or whatever. And I'm like, well, I got to be Luigi for this one.
Yeah.
But that was the only time of that. I've not played Mario at all. I'm sure he's fine.
There's so many better options than Mario. It's going to be a while till I get to him. The only drawback, though, is having all these weird enemy characters is that most of them don't seem to have alternate costumes. I feel like they reserved a lot of those for like the main cast.
Sure, that makes sense.
I think Boo has a few alternate costumes, which I was desperately trying to unlock. But yeah, I don't think there's going to be like a Road Warrior, like Pokey the Cactus or anything.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It's fun. I've had a really, really good time with it. I don't know if I'm ever going to spend like 1 billion hours with this thing in the way that I would if it was a new Animal Crossing or Super Mario Odyssey 2 or something like that came out at launch.
Mm-hmm.
But it's a cool toy. Is it worth $90? I don't know if it's worth $90.
I forget that it's $90. Is it really 90? It's not even 80.
Is it 80? I don't remember. It's
some
crazy number.
It's 80. Like 90 seems like a lot.
80. Excuse me, $80.
Yeah, but that's where we are with games at this point, though. Like what? Tears of the Kingdom was 70. A lot of stuff is 70 now.
Yeah,
and then Mario Kart was a scandal because it was even more expensive. But I don't think it was 90, right? I hope not. Well, that's horrifying.
I mean, I got the bundle, so it was really 50. But
yeah.
If you are buying a copy of Mario Kart without the bundle, I think you're right. I think it's $80.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's a lot.
I don't know. Yeah, I hate to do the whole like, well, how much is the game worth? Is it like how much or like how much enjoyment are you supposed to get out of an $80 game versus a $70 game? I think that's like a horrible just narrative. But like playing this, especially after we just played Mario Kart 8 and it's got like 3 times as many courses in it. I don't want to go back and play some of those.
Yeah.
In fact, I wonder what the update schedule is going to be like for this, because like inevitably they will add more courses to this.
Yeah.
I just wonder how it's going to work, and also to some degree, like, do they have to squeeze those into the map somewhere? Or are they just going to be you access them from a menu? I don't know.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, you would think there would have been or should have been some announcement of a roadmap, no pun intended, for future expansion of this thing. It's a little surprising that they're going to propose $80 and then not support it ever.
I'm sure there'll be at least one sort of expansion thing. Because on the Switch, like Mario Kart 8 got sort of multiple waves of new courses, right?
Yeah, I mean, eventually, yeah, years and years after release, but yeah. There were a few initially, when it was just a Wii U game, there were a few packs of additional tracks and stuff like that came out initially.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like, it seems likely to me. Yeah.
Yeah, like the Animal Crossing stuff added.
Yeah, and the Zelda one too, that had the motorcycle with Link.
Yeah. Who's nowhere to be seen currently, so I
Correct.
think there's room for him to make an appearance as well.
Yeah, you got me the other day. You posted that you had unlocked Joker from Persona.
Well, it's not exactly what I posted.
No, but you posted a screenshot that heavily implied that somewhere buried in Mario Kart World was Joker from Persona.
Oh, you thought that was from Mario Kart. Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I did. Was that not your intent?
Oh, no. Well, I mean, I was just just doing a stupid gag because fake E3 was happening last week during the Switch launch, so they announced all these new characters for the Sonic Kart game that was coming out. But also, Persona Kart has just been a meme forever, so I was like, oh, they finally did it. And Joker from Persona 5 is in the Sega kart racer. So I was like,
I didn't even know there was a new Sega kart racer. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the thing. Is how can you release a kart racer in the same year as Mario Kart? That's not a good idea.
Yeah,
But I just thought, well, I'll just post this screen grab from the trailer to be confusing.
Oh, yeah. I totally thought you had unlocked that somehow in Switch, on the Switch 2 version.
Yeah. Oh, it didn't even occur to me that people would think that was from Mario Kart. That's really good.
I went through the roster on the screen of Switch 2 and looked, because you can see the outline of all the future characters you can unlock. Yeah. And I was like, which one is Joker?
Oh, man, that's really good. I'm so glad you told me that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Well, who knows? Maybe.
May or may not have Googled is Joker from Persona in Mario Kart World.
Well, I mean, he was in Smash Brothers, so I can't rule it out entirely.
The real Joker here is you.
Really good.
Yep.
Great.
Did you see that they are doing a remake of Persona 4, though?
I did, yeah. And I'm just like, I'm still going to play the PS2 version.
It's a good game.
Yeah, that's what everybody says. I'm going to check it out.
All right. We should mention that despite our lukewarm enthusiasm, we are going to play Mario Kart World this coming Monday night. Lukewarm is not the right way to phrase it.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah. Probably more fun with friends. So if you are around Monday night, June 16th, 10 p.m. Eastern Time, and you have a Switch 2 and a copy of Mario Kart World, sorry, Tour is a different thing, you should hop on and play with us.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or if you'd just like to see that in action, go to twitch.tv/VGHangover. That is 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time, Monday, June 16th.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out
more info on the Discord.
What was the guy's name? It was Howling Scotsman, is that right? Who showed up last week and just trounced everyone at Mario Kart 8.
Showed us how to do it. Yeah.
Yeah, that was good. I was just after we wrapped up, I'm just like, all right, what cart was he using? I'm going to use this from now on. What is it? What is his secret? So maybe that'll happen again. Hopefully he's got his hands on the Switch too.
Yep. But yeah, so DJ and I will play that together. We would love for you guys to play with us too. We can get up to 24 people in this thing, so come on down.
That's so many people.
It's a lot.
I'm scared of going online with this, honestly. Because I did a little bit with... I don't remember if I played Mario Kart 8 with just random people, but I played a lot of the Wii one, which I think let you have up to 12. And that was just too much. There was just too many items all over the screen. It was such a struggle to come in the top 6, and that's not even not even due to poor racing skills or anything. It was just you cannot stop getting hammered by shells the entire race.
Yes, yeah. It is. Some of my experience has been a lot of. I may have Googled how do I avoid a blue shell, because I kept getting hammered. I keep picking up not a lot, but I've had 2 or 3 package pickups in this game where I don't know what the thing does. You see the icon trailing behind your cart, and I'm like, what the hell does that thing do? So that's been kind of fun too. Yeah.
They really didn't blow the roof off with the new power-ups, I feel like. I thought there might be something crazy, but so far it's been pretty, I don't know, pretty calm. But maybe that's fine. I don't need crazy power-ups flying all over the screen, as we've established.
We played Mario Kart 8 last week. We played with only frantic items, I think was the option.
Yeah.
And it did not feel any more frantic, honestly. So I'm not sure what the condition is that makes an item frantic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we should wrap this thing up. What else do we want to say? If you need any more video game hangover in your brain, definitely follow us on Blue Sky. We are VGHangover.com there, and you can always get show notes and links and tell us what you thought about this episode at VGHangover.com as well. We would love for you to join us on our Discord. You can chat with us about your new Switch 2, other things that have been announced over the last couple of weeks during Fake E3. We've given some time to discussing those things, a few other exciting new releases over the last couple of weeks.
Oh, I didn't get to talk about that Marvel game. It looks so good.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
Oh, man. Okay, next time.
Okay. We would love for you to subscribe, rate, and review us on your podcasting app of choice. We're on nearly all of them. And maybe hook us up with a referral to one of your friends. Tell them about our show.
Yeah. Tell them about the show. That's what you just said. Yeah. But we do really
glad you
appreciate
agree.
it.
Yeah.
Help us bring in new listeners. And then they can hit us with turtle shells for the entire race. Speaking of turtle shells, I want to give thanks again to RJ Lake for our intro and outro music this week. If you'd like to hear more of his work, you can go to spellmynamewithabang.bandcamp.com and pick up his whole discography.
Hell yeah. We'll be back Monday night streaming Mario Kart World. We'll be back in 2 weeks with a brand new episode in your ears. Until then, this is Randy Dickinson.
This is DJ Ross.
Thanks so much for listening to Video Game Hangover. Goodbye.
Good night.
See ya.